Do you ever wonder what our future is going to look like? The other day, I was having a conversation with my nan about the evolution of telephones and how she used to call her auntie on an old rotary phone. She said that there was no way, not in a million years, that she could ever imagine someday owning a finger-touch device that allowed her to do so much more than just make a simple phone call. My nan has definitely had an interesting life experiencing all the technological changes over the years, and it makes me wonder what devices I'll make use of every day when I'm her age. Living in such a rapidly moving technological world means that the ways in which we communicate are always evolving, and we are always needing to learn the latest tricks and how-tos in order to keep communicating with the world around us. Learning all these new things isn't easy for some, particularly those who have not grown up around the use of technology every day. The teaching of information communication technology is something that needs to be taught from a young age. Children are tomorrow's innovators. And as teachers, it is crucial that students graduate from school with an abundance of technological knowledge that can be used towards a successful career. ACARA acknowledges the need for today's students to have technology integrated into their classrooms to expose them to the many ways technology can be used to communicate both socially and academically. ACARA also acknowledges the need for students to have a deep understanding of how to use technology responsibly and safely. ACARA summarises 5 interrelated elements that should be taught in Australian curriculum. Number 1 is applying social and ethical protocols and practices when using ICT. Number 2, investigating with ICT. Number 3, creating with ICT. Number 4, communicating with ICT. And number 5, managing and operating ICT. This impacts teaching methods profoundly, where teachers are now challenged to create new ways in which both curriculum content and technology can be fused together in order to bring students to a higher level of learning. The SAMR model is the building blocks for teachers who are looking to mould their classrooms to include technology-based learning. Through substitution, augmentation, modification, and redefinition, the SAMR model looks to transform and enhance classroom experiences to include the practical use of ICT during lessons. Teachers can use the SAMR model to rewrite lesson plans that expose students to many, if not all, the 5 elements that ACARA outlines. For example, instead of students writing a speech and presenting to the class, a teacher might apply the SAMR model and reinvent the tasks to allow students to write a speech using a word processor, then having them create a video of them presenting the speech that then can be viewed through an online learning hub. SAMR impacts teaching and learning directly by challenging traditional teaching methods to be reformed to include ICT and allow students to spend less time working manually and more time extending their intellect to higher levels of understanding. ACARA's 5 ICT learning elements, along with the SAMR model, create for a blended learning experience where students are able to have both a physical and online presence during their learning courses. Online facilities such as Moodle and Blackboard can be utilised with a physical classroom or can be used solely in an online environment. An example of this is students may have an English lesson at school and then log into an online learning facility at home to complete their homework. The blended learning experience impacts on both the teachers and learners by allowing a more interactive relationship between student, teacher, and content to create a deeper understanding of learning to be reached. With all these incredible new technological levels of learning to be discovered, there are of course boundaries that must be kept. These boundaries lie with ensuring that students are made aware of the dangers that the online world can bring. Cyber safety refers to ensuring that both teachers, parents and students are informed of how to keep themselves safe while using the internet. Some of these strategies include understanding privacy settings on social media accounts, not interacting with people that you do not know, creating secure passwords, and alerting adults if something seems off. It is also important that students are aware of their digital footprint. That is, what people can see about themselves online, and ensuring that any personal information is not made public. Cyber safety is a huge responsibility that can impact teaching and learning by creating boundaries to certain functionalities of using ICT in the classroom. For example, if students are asked to make a video and upload it onto an online forum, teachers would need to ensure that all videos are set to private audiences to ensure that students' identities are kept safe. Cyber safety is best achieved when all three parties, teachers, students, and parents, are on board and are constantly checking that online activity is normal and risk-free.